Hello, Fix here from the future. How are you? I'd like to, this week's video portion of my Xbox and me. Unfortunately, my computer froze. It froze and it corrupted. It's the first time it's ever happened to me, but we lost the video version of this week's podcast. We're still putting up the audio on, obviously, YouTube for everyone watching, but we'd like to apologize that the video is obviously not here this week. I put up a cute image, but if you're still a YouTube watcher, here it is for you. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. And I hope you all enjoy.
Yeah. It's nice to know you're hard.
Hello and welcome to My Xbox and Me, episode 337. I am one of your hosts, MC Fixer. And yes, you did just hear Kresh say, it's nice to hear you're hard. The one and only Too Fresh Kresh, how are you? Yes, that is going in the edit.
I'm doing good. Look, that's out of context. That's not fair. Not fair at all. I'm doing good.
You said it. You said it. Not me. You not me.
I did say it.
Matt P video. How are you, Matt?
I'm good. That hello came out of nowhere. I was confused.
I wasn't expecting it.
Me neither.
I know.
I understand.
That's why Fix didn't say anything. That's why Fix didn't say anything in response.
It would have ruined the whole vibe, you know?
That's true.
But now I get to keep that part in and everyone goes, oh, Kresh is into Fix being hard. I mean, I can confirm it because I have it as an audio file now.
That's true. Perfect. I can never deny it.
Did I not ban this cup last week?
No, you didn't.
No, not yours, Matt. Sorry. No,
not you, Matt. Not you, Matt.
Not you, Matt. I'm telling you.
There's not even a logo on the cup.
I can see the logo. Put it back up.
That's a logo?
It's a PlayStation logo.
Is that?
Yes, I can see it.
I don't think so.
Okay, I'm sure in 30 minutes when we keep doing the show, we'll see it.
Look, I made the coffee like over an hour ago, and I thought the logo would be gone by now. It's not. I'm be honest. I just like this cup. It fits a lot of coffee.
Okay,
so
fine.
That's all I got.
I guess I gotta get over it. Guess I gotta get over it.
No logo now.
Welcome back to My Xbox and Me. It's a brand new year. I know the first question you all have is the YouTube audience is, where was the YouTube version? And why did it only go up yesterday? Now, do you want a lie or do you want the truth?
Can we get both? Because I want to know what the lie is and I want to know what the truth
let's play
is.
A game. Tell us the lie and then
the
tell
lie
us the
is
truth
because
we'll
the lie is because I forgot and I thought I lost the file.
But you
the
didn't.
Truth is I uploaded it already and forgot to push publish.
Oh man.
Truth. I'm sorry. And the thing was, it was really annoying because I got the audio up and I was doing that anyway when Matt messaged and I was like, all right, I'm doing this to do. It was past New Year, I know, but whatever. And then life just got a bit, and I was like, where's the video? And I was like, oh crap, we missed Monday, but don't worry, it didn't matter. But yeah, it was
better late than never. Still never missed a week.
Damn straight. The audio is the one that counts. The audio is the one that. Sorry,
if we went by the video,
I love you, and we don't go by the video, and that's all that matters, Kresh, and that's all that matters.
That's true.
There was weeks before where there wasn't a video, so we can never go by the video. You know, before you was even around, before you was even a speckle in your dad's, you know what, you know. That's how long this podcast has been going on. You don't know what I was talking about there? Oh, sorry. Okay. Well, did no one teach you how babies were... Anyway, this is our Xbox podcast here on My Xbox and Me. You get show early, head over to patreon.com/mcfixer. There are some changes happening in January on the Patreon that My Xbox and Me audience listeners are definitely going to want to keep an eye on. So you'll hear about them next week, probably, or the week after. But lots and lots of changes come in. Boys, I've got to be honest with you. Xbox has kicked off the week in a slamming one, and I was literally on my walk as I was just saying to Matt P. I've started to go on 5K walks, which sucks. They're 10,000 steps though, because I hear that's the step count you need to get to. It's 10,000. Why Matt? You seem to be someone who you said you like running, so
I don't know.
Why is 10,000 so?
That's like the default for all like smartwatches. When you start setting them up, they're like, you should be doing 10,000 steps a day. I don't know where it came from either, but that does seem like it's a thing.
Hour and a half walk. Long. Very, very long. But Xbox decided to give us some really good news yesterday, which is magical. So we'll jump straight into the topic of the show this week, lads, which is Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Extraction will be available day one on Xbox Game Pass. How are we feeling about this game now? So, better question. Kresh, Matt,
Yeah.
I don't care who goes first. How was you feeling about the game beforehand?
You go, Crash.
I was looking forward to it. I was
We're big
kind of
Rainbow
excited.
fans.
Yeah,
We're
we
big
played a
Rainbow
lot
fans.
of whenever the
How
thing
we
came
met.
out for whatever true. Whenever the thing came out for like the most played games, Rainbow Six Siege was up there for on Xbox. I'm looking forward to it. Part of me, when it comes to Game Pass, there's two sides. One side's like starts lumping it in with like Outriders and Back for Blood.
Yes.
Which, not the best thing, right? Those games came, they didn't do the best. But then the other part of me is like, this very much fits in with what Ubisoft did with Rainbow Six Siege in terms of making Rainbow Six Siege popular with all the free-to-play weekends and getting this game in a bunch of people's hands. So when I look at it from that aspect, my opinion on the game doesn't really change. I'm still looking forward to it and excited for it. Maybe a little bit more weary, but I'm still interested in what.
The interesting thing here, and you've hit the nail on the head there, is the buddy. They've also got the buddy pass, crossplay pass buddy system, which we've only really, correct me if I'm wrong, but the only game I remember in the last 5 years doing that is A Way Out and It Takes Two, which was a game where there's other games that may have done it, but the ones that I can remember,
Yeah.
from a AAA, from a AAA. From a AAA. Because I remember there's a couple of us that I actually come to mind, but I'm from a AAA studio. Usually they're trying to get our money at the end of the day. So to have, it's a 14-day free pass for up to, I think it's 2 passes to give away to your friends.
It's 2 passes,
so you never have to play on your own. So Matt, what are your thoughts on Rainbow Six Extinction before Game Pass?
Yeah, this had fallen off my radar entirely. You could have told me this game came out 6 months ago and totally didn't land with people, and I would have believed you. Because it's been delayed, right? And we've seen it time and time again. And I think, because we had Back for Blood, and it's going down that sort of similar vibe. Because we've had that, and I enjoyed Back for Blood for what it was, but I knew I dropped off it quick, right?
Yeah.
I'm assuming this will be the exact same. Like, I can imagine, me and all my mates jumping into this, running through it, and then never touching it again.
Guys, I just double bluffed you. You don't have to imagine. I can talk about the fact that I have played Rainbow Six Extinction and I've done the preview. Double bluff on this, yes.
Oh, wow.
I played a video game. I got to preview this game, everybody. Ubisoft were nicely enough to send me, and I'm thankful for them letting me play it. It was all from home. But yeah, I got to play Rainbow Six Extraction. What do you want to know?
Is it better than Back for Blood?
Totally 2 different games. Two totally different games. Not even, so it's funny you saying that. I was like, nope, not even close.
Okay.
How in line is it with the PvE mode they had put out a while ago in Rainbow Six Siege?
I don't know how you felt about it. Very similar, very, very similar.
Yeah.
But you have objectives that you are constantly doing throughout what you're doing. They've got this. So the premise of the game is you are still the Rainbow Six cast and crew that you know. And if you've never played Rainbow Six before, I guess you would be at a disadvantage of that because you don't know who Ash is, you don't know who Thatcher is, you don't know who this cast of characters that myself and all of the Rainbow Six community have been playing for the last, what's the game been at now? 5 years?
I was going to say longer, but I don't know.
I think more than that. I would guess
how long
like
we know each other. So it's 7 years, 8 years, like mad. So these are the characters you're playing with, right? And they all have their very own unique abilities in terms of what they can do. So it's what you've come to expect from a Rainbow Six game, but it's so tactical. And I never felt like the PvE mode, which you're talking about, was very tactical. It was very as much as it still had the Rainbow Six feel to it, and that you could still peek around corners and stuff. You didn't need to be tactical with it, right? Extinction isn't that, and it makes perfect sense why you're getting this buddy pass for people to play the game with you. I got to play with Paradise from RX Gaming, their whole team, and me, him, and a dev played it together, and I was just like, oh man, this brings back the exact feel that I wanted from Rainbow Six without the sweatiness of playing against other people. And that's kind of the magic behind it. You go into missions, you tackle them how you want to tackle them. You can do it stealthy, you can do it loud. If one of your characters gets taken, they you have to go and rescue them, which is all the stuff we've seen in the previews, but actually get to play it out and see how it works was so fun. So fun.
So let's say Ash gets taken, right?
Yep.
Is anybody in that team allowed to play Ash, or is it just a specific person?
That happened with us. So my Ash was taken. So somebody else could still play their Ash, and then their Thatcher was if their Thatcher got taken, I still play my Thatcher. But when you rescue somebody, if I'm not mistaken, it still rescues the person in which so if your Ash is taken and we rescue a character in one of the objectives, it'll be that character for you that is then rescued. Do you know what I mean? Am I making sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
There.
But now,
yeah,
I don't know if you came into the situation, but what if two people are missing a character? Do you have to save two separate people?
So the objective, what I played in, was only able to save one character. So
Got it.
The mechanics of the game are really cool because it makes you play. You know what it's like, Chris. And I don't know how much you played of Rainbow Six, Matt. Of you pick a character and you stick with that character. I was always an Ash main. That was me, Ash, and then I played Glaz a lot, and then Lord Chunker. But you have your favorites, and that scenario of your character being taken makes you explore the rest of these characters. Not only that, each of them have their own leveling system. So you want to level up these characters because they have their own unique abilities as well, which all standard stuff that we've come to love in video games. But I think that's where the replayability is going to be in terms of you wanting to tackle things in different ways with whoever it is you're playing it with. We played it via the Ubisoft streaming thing. So I wasn't playing like a downloaded file of the game. So it wasn't, and I had a problem with my PC on the day as well. So I ended up having to play it off of Haley's laptop, which isn't very good. It still played really well. And I think that was the testament to it of like, oh, I'm having really bad issues here with lag and other things, but I still really enjoy this. This is still really a lot of fun. And I can see myself sinking a lot of time into this game because I'm a Rainbow Six fan. Now, does that expand out to a casual audience? And does that get a Matt P in? Does that get somebody who's not been playing Rainbow Six as long as we have and know these characters and want to see like a little bit of story in there? Not loads, but just something a little bit different. I don't know. But if you are into cooperative strategy shooters where it is gruelingly hard on the difficulty we were playing on, which was normal, it was gruelingly hard, you're going to have a great time with this. And that was where the fun was for me, where I was like, oh man, this has brought back my love for Rainbow that I've missed for I haven't played Rainbow in probably like a year and a half now, if not longer. And I was just like, yes, this is exactly what I wanted this to be. A lot of people, I had a few people on Twitter say to me, shame the game looks like crap when it got announced for Game Pass. And I was like, I never thought it looked like crap. I was worried about how much content there would be.
Yeah.
But my question to you guys, does that now matter now that it's in Game Pass if we're not paying for it, if we're not paying any extra for it other than what we're already paying?
For people who played off of Game Pass, I don't think so, but I think generally for the game it still matters because it's still a game that you can buy.
Yep.
I do think you have to go into it with the mindset that I'm pretty sure it's a $40 game. It's not a $60 game.
Yep.
So I think most people should adjust what they expect from a game when the price point is different, right? Not to say 100%. That everybody does.
Should we adjust what we expect for a game like this if we know Ubisoft's willing to put it in Game Pass day one?
I think this will be a sort of telltale sign, right? Like if this comes out now and it's clear, oh, Ubisoft didn't think this was like AAA quality, and so they were going to put it in Game Pass to save it a little bit. I think we'll be able to tell if that's the case, and if that is the case, that's very telling. I think going forward,
it's AAA quality. I'm telling you, it's AAA quality. Yeah. From what I've played, it's AAA quality. Because it's the Rainbow Six mechanics. It's built on more than just what Rainbow Six PvP is. So that alone is AAA. That's not the question for me. Go on, Crash.
I think the important thing for me is that the reason that like it doesn't change it for me if it's on Game Pass is because with Rainbow Six Siege, they constantly did free to play weekends. They lowered the price for the game a million times. They gave people a bunch of different ways to play it for me.
Mm-hmm.
So that doesn't adjust my expectations of quality from that game. Because that for them with this type of game seems to be like a really big marketing strategy. It falls semi in line with their whole free to play model and what they go for with that regard.
Yep.
So it doesn't change what I expect from this, but I also played Rainbow Six Siege and I do know there weren't a million different maps and didn't constantly put out new content. And they were also willing to take out content they feel didn't fit into the game. And going into it with all that, I think I semi know what to expect. I'm not expecting a bunch of unique content and maps and all that stuff day one.
Good.
Right? It is a game that will grow. I'm sure that they'll add new stuff and new variety and new characters for you to play as well. I'm sure that's a big thing they'll go for in the future.
Can you play it single player at all, or does it require you to jump?
You can.
People? You can.
Not recommended.
Not that you would want to. Okay.
I wouldn't advise it. No,
Well,
it's very much a game designed around cooperative play. And I think that's very evident in it being in Game Pass, them giving you the buddy system.
That's what I was going to
say. They want you to play this with people. And but that's Rainbow. At the end of the day, like that is what Rainbow Six has always been. I grew up playing Rainbow Six Vegas 2, and that's where I got the XOB name from. But clans were big back then, and MLG and all of that. That is what Rainbow Six has always been. And I'm glad that they haven't resorted to it being a single player first focus game. No. You and two buddies, it's not a 4-player, it's 3-player. You and two buddies get together and take on these absolutely monstrous creatures that come out of everywhere, and you play it how you want to play. Do you want to play it stealthily? Do you want to play it lads? Do you want to creep along together, or are you all going to split up? There's so many different ways to play a game like this because of the unique abilities each character has, which really does open up the map that you're playing on and what you're doing. Like, we played it a few times, and it's just, you'll get the objective, which may be each of you need to go and like disarm a bomb, let's say, or something like that. And it was cool of like, all right, I'm going to go here because we know where B is. You go over there at A, and then we'll both meet up at C, and like we'll move together. And it was like, yeah, that's the fun of what this game is. It's tackling these different objectives in many different ways and figuring them out as well, because there was parts where we couldn't figure out what we were doing, and that was fun as well because you're learning. And I'm sure once you've done it once or twice, you know what you're doing. You're going to be able to blast through these levels. But the experience in which I had with the game and what I got to play, it drew me back in so much into what I love about Rainbow. And I think that's what the game's job is at the end of the day is, oh, you lapsed Rainbow Six fan, here is a whole new different experience with the characters you like, with the abilities you already know. You haven't got to relearn how to play Ash. You know how to play Ash. You've put this many hours in. Now go and do that in a PvE world. And we've got other add-ons and other additional abilities and a level system and all the good stuff in which you need to make a good video game, you know?
I have two questions. Oh, sorry, go on. You go, Crash.
Is there any sort of randomization in the game?
Yes.
So are like objectives are like randomized and stuff like that? Okay.
Yes. We come across the same ones sometimes, but we did a couple of different maps. I believe we played 2 different maps. I think there was 3 different... So I don't know if they were maps or areas. Again, I wasn't the one in control, and because of the way it was being streamed to me, I was having a few issues. So I'm not able to go into as in depth, hence why there's no separate video for it. I wasn't able to go as in depth as I would have liked in the menu system, in the level system. But what was important to me was the core gameplay. Does it feel, does it play like, does it move like, does it sound like Rainbow Six Siege? Yes. And that to me is the biggest positive to take away from this, because anyone who's played Rainbow Six Siege and knows how good that game is, it should then be excited for this, you know? But yeah, randomized, different objectives, enemies obviously not coming from the same areas, you know, all that normal stuff to expect, you know? different enemy types coming out of nowhere. One part of the mission, you shoot down the door, and there was just enemies instantly there. You're like overwhelmed, and you're like, crap, all right, let's use our pistols, or that's just melee. That's not go in lad. And for me, Crash, that was never an option, so I just started shooting anyway. Especially with latency, I'm like, pop, 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 pop. Oh, I missed. I'm sorry, guys. It's not my fault. I
didn't realize we were going quiet.
Yeah, they did tell me 5 times, but I just weren't listening.
So are you? And forgive me because I'm not familiar with Rainbow Six Siege, so I don't know how it works. But are you? Is there like some sort of cross progression here? If I'm unlocking or leveling up in quarantine, am I then? Or not quarantine? Is it extraction? Extinction. Extinction. It was called quarantine before, wasn't it? They changed it because of COVID. So I'll forgive myself. If I'm unlocking and leveling stuff up there, can I take that over into Siege and into PvP? No.
Not that I know of. Anyway, wasn't mentioned to me. They're very separate because there's new abilities that work in terms of like you've got characters like Rook who has armor, right? Like his armor will be one of the level ups that I remember is his armor will be more effective. That doesn't help you in PvP over on there. No, they're very unique to this game.
Okay.
And it's designed in that way. And again, we were playing and we were like, we need a Doc, we need a Rook. And then you're like, wow, once they're leveled up, then what? Then you're going to want to bring an Ash. Then you're going to want to bring a Thatcher. Then you're going to want to bring Lion and all these other characters. There's even new characters in it that I don't know, which is fun as well. But you don't start off as well, at least when we played. You don't start off with the full cast of characters either. Like, you don't just have everybody, which, again, something Rainbow Six Siege was known for. You went through and you unlocked these characters. And, again, that's a form of progression. Because you're going to want to get the characters you want. Some people are completionists; they're going to want everything, and that's where it is. For me, there was 3 key things that I wanted to know about this game when I was already excited for it. But it was, did it feel like Rainbow? Did it play like Rainbow? And how was the progression system? And across all 3 fronts, I was left happy because I felt like I was leveling up at a good rate. Not, again, you never know when these games come out fully, but from what I played, was leveling up at a good rate. From a gameplay perspective, it felt exactly how I wanted it to feel. And then you know what to expect when it comes to like graphics and stuff as well. Like, it's I don't think it's going to be... I can't believe we're in 2022 already. I don't think it's going to be Game of the Year. Like, I don't know. We don't know what's going to come out. But
sure.
I don't know if it's going to be everyone's cup of tea, but I feel like everyone should at least try it. Because you'll have you'll understand what is fun about Rainbow, even if you're not interested in PvP, finally. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Makes sense to me. Are you more excited now or less excited to play the full version?
More.
Good.
Yeah, way more. I forgot the game was coming out in January. January 20th. I'll be honest. Didn't realize it was that early. Yeah, didn't realize it was that early. But it will probably replace one of the many other games that I do. Like, let's just have one round, because the game has this very good like moment where you don't have to finish a mission. Like, you can go back to your. I don't want to say like there's a certain area you go back to each time when you finish a mission, and that was kind of enjoyable to me because it could be a case of maybe not solo, but like if a mission goes wrong, you can just go back to your extraction point. So you don't have to do all of the objectives, and then you get a level of leveling up as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you go? So let's say we've done 2 of the objectives, yeah, and Matt P's dead, so we can't get Matt P back. He's dead. It's then that risk reward. How much ammo have you got, Crash? I've got this much. Are we going to risk it to the next section? How much health you got? Are we going to risk it to the next objective, or should we just fall back and get out? And unfortunately, we don't get Matt P back, and he's got to then play a different character, which then changed the whole dynamic of the team. Because if that's your doc, you're like, well, who do I play now? I've got to start leveling up somebody else, and that was the real push and pull. You might only get through one objective and be like, we got to peace out. Because I don't want to lose this. I don't want to lose this experience points that we've now got. So the objective is you'll have experience for doing them at the end of each mission, or kills, or whatever the case may be, right? So it's that risk reward inside of it as well that makes Rainbow's already one of those games that gets my heart pumping. You know, because usually you're in a 3v2 situation, a 3v3, a 1v5. Those moments are still there in Extraction. You got me saying it wrong now. In Extraction, but it's just in a different way. You know, it's not in a PvP way. It isn't a. If we die, we've just wasted that whole. You still get a little bit of XP, but nowhere near as much as what you was getting. We've just wasted that whole time. Nah, forget that. Let's just fall back, Crash. Yeah. Matt screaming down the mic at us, no! Go pick me up! Go pick me up! And I'm like, nah, it's not worth it. I've got 19 HP. Are we really going to risk it? No.
Yeah. I like that. I like that a lot.
I'll be honest. Yeah, you've bumped up my excitement for the game a decent amount, Fix. And a good portion of that is like just remembering the highlights of Rainbow Six Siege.
Yeah.
Because that game was really fun when we were really, really into it.
Dude, when we were grinding ranks back in the day, and I know you didn't like rank as much, but when we were grinding and we were taking it serious, and you remember you're swinging onto cameras, you're taking them out. Like, imagine that, but without the sweatiness of like someone who knows every angle.
Yeah. There's no worry about like somebody head glitching or something like that. Just,
you know?
Yeah. I think also the agency of you, like you were saying, of like, do I back out or do I keep going forward? Do I risk my character? Do we go and try and save Matt? The answer will always be no.
The answer was always, for me, I was the one always down, and the answer for my team was always, no, we're good. And I didn't blame him. I didn't blame him at all. But the one thing I didn't mention was like characters can get injured as well. So you can risk them going out while injured, but then they'll have like lower health and obviously a more chance of getting down, which means they'll disappear again.
It's cool.
It's good. It's fun. It's enjoyable.
This kind of gives me XCOM vibes as well to a certain degree, because XCOM has similar stuff like that as well.
Yeah, but you're playing it, right? Like XCOM.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, but I'm saying like more of a first-person XCOM of like more personable XCOM, but like in a wider scope, it kind of reminds me of some of that stuff, which I think is really dope. And I'm really
that injury thing that you were talking about. How do you then become not injured? Have you got to like find resources?
No, I think it's so if you don't use that character and you take a different character out, I think if I'm not mistaken, I could definitely be mistaken, but I think it was a case of like one turn, like one extraction after
that makes sense.
They would re-heal of some amount. I don't know the full extent of it again. I
got like Ultimate Team vibes when you were saying that. Then
no, nothing like that. No, I think it's more designed of. It's like I said, it's the risk reward. It's they don't want you to stick to one character. It might from what I took from it. They don't want you to stick to one character. They want there to be a case of you messed up and you are going to be punished for that, which is your character's going to be taken, or if you're injured, your character's going to then be injured. And sure, you can take them out there. Like, that's down to you. But don't take anything that I've said as a negative. It all plays into the world in which they've built here, which is, you have been infected. You wouldn't just be running off. If you've been infected or you've been wounded, you wouldn't just be running off to another mission. And that's the whole point of why there is a cast of characters, right? And that's why they do have a lot of... Rainbow Six has a lot of operators. A lot. Yeah. So they want to push people like you, especially, Matt, who have not played some of these, like most of these operators before, to like try them out and find out which ones you like.
Sure.
One last question on this.
Of course.
Do you have any clue what the microtransactions will be like?
No clue. I assume it will just be cosmetical again. Rainbow Six was very cosmetical. I assume it'll be the same thing, but they might be able to have a bit more fun with it because of the world is not as... It's very dark and scary and monstery, obviously. But I could easily see them doing a... I don't know, Christmas time, Father Christmas skin or something like that.
You also don't have to worry about like balancing skins for PvP, right? Something can't be like super OP or super vibrant and stick out too much. Yeah. So, okay.
Anything else? Anything else I can answer?
I don't think so.
Are you going to play the game with me, Fix?
Yeah, off stream though.
It's a 3-player co-op game, guys. Do I need to start another hashtag or what?
If only we had a place where we could put that content and it was on a Patreon under a certain goal where people could pay to watch that content of the three of us playing video games if they
That's
wanted
an interesting
to support
idea.
the channel.
That's an interesting idea.
It's crazy.
Don't everyone... Okay, I'll drink as well. You've all drunk, so...
I thought we were taking a sip.
I
thought we were looking at marinade.
Is we touched on it briefly, and there's the first question in Fixer's.
I'm bringing it back.
Okay, cool. Let's bring it back.
I'm going to bring this back to Game Pass. Don't worry. But yeah, it's wild.
I'm excited.
My next question for both of you, now that the preview part's out of the way, is how much does this change the year for Xbox? My expectations for Xbox already have gone through the roof now. When it comes to Game Pass, they already know that PlayStation have got a competitor coming, right?
Yeah.
They know to win this service game. Forget the console race now, because I don't think they're ever going to win it. I generally don't think they will. I feel like PlayStation have such a stronghold, and I say that because I spent some time with my uncle over New Year, and I was like, "What games are you playing?" He was like, "FIFA," and I was like, "Why don't we just get an Xbox?" And then I showed him XCloud on my phone, and he was blown away. Showed him Gears, and he was like, "How do I get that?" And I'm like, "Well, do you have an Xbox?" He's like, "No." I'm like, "Well, you could just get Game Pass on your phone, but it's like, why don't you get an Xbox?" He's like, "But I've been a PlayStation guy my whole life." And I'm like, "Oh yes." He don't care about trophies. He don't care about, but he's played on PlayStation his whole life. He doesn't like the idea of moving to an Xbox. And I was like, "Huh, interesting." With my question coming back, sorry. My expectations for Xbox are like through the roof now. Because to be able to go to Ubisoft, who are one of the big 5 now? Oh, we lost Ubisoft. We lost Bethesda back into Xbox now. But so we'll say big 5, I guess. I think it's like 4 or 5 now.
Sure.
Big 5 publishers to get one of their tentpole first-party titles in Game Pass day one. We spoke about it, if not last week, the week before, right? Which was like, we've had games like, Outriders, and we've had like those double A's, but we've not had the big triple A. This is the first 6 days in January, and we've got the first big triple A already jumping in.
I think it's important though as well to note, like, this isn't just a win for Xbox. Like there's a massive benefit to Ubisoft doing this as well. Like, they've seen that. They know that this game lives and dies on the player base, and whether or not people are excited about it, and people are jumping into it and talking about it. And True. Xbox now have all that data from Outriders that says, this is how many people have pre-ordered Outriders, and then this is how many people played it in the first week on Game Pass. And I bet that's a big number. Sorry?
Did you say Ubisoft?
Outriders.
Yeah. That's Square, though.
Yeah, but
but
Xbox
what I'm saying is
has
Microsoft
that
have that data to say people weren't super excited about this Outriders game. I can't imagine the pre-order numbers were huge for it. Maybe they were decent, whatever. But these are the amount of people who played it week 1 on Game Pass. For a game that relies on its player base and relies on people talking about it in that first week to get people excited, put it on Game Pass. You're like, your game is going to do much bigger numbers than this because it's Rainbow Six.
I don't know if Ubisoft would rely on having big numbers out the gate. Not saying that they don't want that, but if you look at, like, I think Rainbow Six is the perfect example. When that first game came out, everybody was like, this game's dead, this game's dead. They said that for like the first 3 years maybe, and then every time they kept breaking records and kept breaking records. Like, it was a broken record essentially, right? And I think like this makes a lot of sense, but I think one thing we also have to look at is they announced that Ubisoft Plus is coming to Xbox at some point, right? And so this could be just big. Maybe they're working out some sort of deal with Xbox. I do know that they said it'll be a separate charge for Ubisoft.
At the moment.
Really? Do you think it'll actually be bundled in?
At some point, yes. Not yet.
I don't think it'll be a full bundle. I do think there will be a discounted version of where you pay an extra $5 or whatever it is.
We've seen this. No. On console, 1000%. Yes. I am willing to put a pizza bet on it. 1000%. We can do this.
You know, because you're going to talk about EA Play, right?
Yeah.
How much does EA Play cost a month?
It's like $14.99, I think.
No,
EA
it's
Play
less than that.
$6.
Less than that. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
What? Ubisoft Plus is $15.
Okay.
That's what I was talking about. Sorry.
And it's day one. Games get added day one. EA Play
Yeah.
doesn't have games getting added day one.
No, but their PC version does. So this is what I'm saying.
No, the PC version is EA Premium. It's a completely different service. It's not.
That's
EA Play.
$14.99.
Yeah.
So that's the same price as Ubisoft. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but you don't
so
get
their premium. Forget. Listen to what I'm saying. Both their premiums are $15.99.
Yeah.
Yeah. Forget PC. Don't worry about PC. Like PC's not happening. Like it's not coming to Xbox Game Pass PC. But the console version, at some point in time, I'm not saying this year.
Yeah.
I'm not saying next year. But Xbox are not going to buy Ubisoft. But this is the closest thing they can do to having it as such of like, all right, we work very closely together on console. Because then it's going to be, look, Ubisoft are not putting out a TV app. Yeah. Xbox are putting out a TV app. EA are not putting out a TV app. Xbox are putting out a TV app. And that's where they're going to want to be. Every game wants to be on that service. Not yet. I'm not saying that. But you've got to think about this big brain. Not right this moment in time. This moment in time right now, it's not as good as it needs to be. But eventually, on Xbox Game Pass, for console and mobile and the TV app that I keep talking about, EA Play, Ubisoft Forward, both will be a part of it. Guarantee it.
I don't think so.
Okay.
There is an interesting
EA's
thing
already
that you
there.
just said.
EA's already... But
go on.
There's just such a drastic difference between Ubisoft Plus and EA Play.
I agree.
Unless what you're saying is that they offer a different version of Ubisoft Plus, I don't see that happening because I don't think they would ever charge a $6 fee or whatever it is for that service on console.
All Xbox have to do is what they've done with Quarantine. Fuck you, Matt P. Extinction. Extraction. God damn it. Is they've got to keep making enough money to be able to pay whatever it is these companies are asking for their games. And right now, Xbox, I don't think are in a position to get Assassin's Creed. Maybe I'm wrong. But right now, Assassin's Creed is Ubisoft's golden goose, right? Yeah. I think that's their biggest game that they have that they know full well we're all going to lap up every year when it comes out. Especially now don't do it every year. Ubisoft, that's all they got. What else do you go, oh, Ubisoft, they have amazing games. Look at Far Cry this year. Okay, look at Far Cry. Easily could have been a Game Pass game.
No, I agree with you. And I do think that even one thing to work to your benefit is even with Assassin's Creed, they've talked about it being more of a games with service without saying it's a games with service, right? So I do think that benefits it'll get added to Game Pass as well. The thing is, like, I don't completely disagree that it won't happen. I just don't know how they would sort of internalize that. And maybe you're right. Maybe once the numbers come in for extraction and all this stuff, and they see all the stats, and they're like, this benefits us way more than anything. Plus, Microsoft will still be paying for this. So we're getting guaranteed money on top of all the microtransactions and all that stuff.
Because once we break out of PC console, I'm talking... When they come out with whatever their Fortnite is, which they're never going to get, but they're going to keep trying to get it at some point, they're going to want that on the service. And I think eventually it's going to get to a point where, same with PlayStation, PlayStation Plus' new thing, like their PlayStation Now, that's going to have EA Play in it, and that's going to have Ubisoft Forward in it at some point. But right now, they don't have it. Have they got EA Play?
I think
it's not in PlayStation Now.
EA Play.
Oh, no,
not on PlayStation Now. Not on PlayStation Now.
Yeah,
no.
So... Yeah. That's the apples to orange comparison right there, right? So for me, I just think it's a case of Ubisoft are trying to reduce their costs, and we know that because they want to do free-to-play games, they want to do games as service. They've openly admitted this. They don't want to be in this takes us 3 years to make a game, and then we get all the money recouped back. How do we figure this out business-wise? Xbox Game Pass.
I think as well, if you're looking into the far-flung future of 2035, which these companies
not even that far.
No. Listen to what I'm saying.
Okay.
So, and you think, right, everybody's going to be cloud streaming at that point. Most people are going to be cloud streaming at that point for games like Extinction, Extraction, Quarantine, whatever we decide we're going to call it. you want to get into bed with the person who's got the best infrastructure for that now, which is Microsoft.
Yep.
And really probably is Google, but they shit the bed hard right out of the gate. And so they're not gonna get in bed with them. But
there is a premium feature above the $15 version for Ubisoft Plus to be on both Luna and Stadia for streaming services.
Well, there we go.
$18 or whatever. So that is a feature as well.
How many people are subscribed?
And I'm not saying that I'm not saying that ruins your argument. I just do want to say that is a thing. And if their goal is like for streaming,
like you
that
say,
could be an avenue as well. Which I don't think that would be the case. That'd be a little weird, but
yeah. And like you say, I think
also,
if Microsoft, are going to do their TV app, maybe it won't be an Xbox TV app, and it will be a Microsoft TV app, and it will have access to all this stuff.
It's going to be Xbox.
Yeah, I agree.
1000%.
And then, therefore, I could see EA, Ubisoft doing their own version of that. I could see them doing their own app because it's
no
difference
they need
it's barrier to entry. It's barrier to entry. As soon as you no casual gamer, but most casual gamers don't know who Ubisoft is. They know what Assassin's Creed is.
Yeah.
So they're not going to click the Ubisoft app to get to Assassin's Creed. They're going to click the PlayStation app or the Xbox app. You see it already, bro. Like, literally, if it ain't on Netflix, people can't be bothered. But it might be on Amazon.
There's definitely an element of that. But now when I fire up my Amazon Fire Stick, it just shows me shows. It doesn't show me where they are, and I can just go straight to them through there. So if it just showed me Assassin's Creed, and then I clicked it, and it's like, oh, you need to subscribe to this?
That's actually kind of a fair point.
That's a great fair point. I agree with you. But that's only one case. So the problem you've got there is Ubisoft don't make one game.
No, I agree. And they would have to be ballsy as hell and probably say, we're not going to give anybody Assassin's Creed. And it's just on our service. And this is, like I say, 2035 Assassin's Creed.
I get the argument. Go on, Crash.
Even like if we're looking at streaming services and we're comparing it to streaming services as well, both Hulu and Amazon, and they're not the premier streaming service, but they do charge additional fees to get separate programs as well. And like if Microsoft is chasing that, the way Ubisoft looks at it and the way Microsoft looks at it would be two different things. Microsoft, I'm sure, wants to be the Netflix. Ubisoft might look at it like we want to get money.
Game Pass is going to be hella expensive, fam.
That's what I mean.
Don't think Game Pass is sitting at this price forever.
Oh,
yeah.
Of course.
Like, that's what I'm saying. That's my argument for this, which is like, we're talking about Ubisoft costs this and this costs this, and we're looking at Xbox at £1 right now, right? Game Pass, or we're looking at $14.99 for Ultimate, yeah? No, that's right now. I'm talking about the more value they keep adding to this, we're getting to $25 to $30 a month on this damn thing, but it's going to be a case of it's going to be the place to get everything. So if you can get EA, you can get Xbox, you can get Ubisoft. That's a lot of the casual market.
So you don't think that even if that was the case, that Microsoft would tier out the systems?
No, I don't think.
Universal.
That I don't know. I don't think so, because me personally, I'm putting my personal opinion in this, is can't stand tier systems. You give me one price for all of it, and I'll pay that. Even if it's a little bit more expensive, I can't stand tiers. I can't. PlayStation are about to do it. They're about to do it, and we're going to see it. We're about to see it, which is going to be, for PS1 games, you can get this for £5. For PS2 games, you can get this for $7.99. $15.99 gives me it all. Perfect. I'll take it. When you start doing that crap, I'm not interested.
The problem is when you get up to when you get up to $30, $40, that's a hell of a lot of money, and games are very time consuming. I'm not playing $40 a month for FIFA or Assassin's Creed because that's the only game I'm playing that month. So you're not going to get your casuals in.
But if that's the only game you play that month, the $40 fee kind of works out better because you pay $40 for the game as opposed to $60
each month, though.
Yeah, but by the next month, you're playing different games, aren't you?
Well, I don't know. That's a big ask. Like, if we get up...
I agree with you. I think the 35,
I get
40
what you're saying.
is...
I'm not saying it's going to get to 35, 40, but I think they're going to try and keep it as cheap as possible forever. But, no, I know I said 35, but I'm saying... But I'm saying, but it depends on how much... If that's 35 and you get I don't know. At some point, YouTube Premium are part
But
of it, and like this thing
I
could
can see
just
that.
keep
yeah,
growing.
but at that point, you kind of start ruining what Game Pass is, in that it's an easy entry point for people to have access to a ton of games at a low price
They
point. And
already
I'm
do
not talking
that
about the
now.
$1 a pound or whatever.
No, yeah. But they already do
Yeah,
that now with like Discord. Like they'll give you Discord Nitro with the perks.
right.
Up.
No, absolutely. But what you're saying is it's going to get it's going to get feature bloated, and it's going to have a lot of programs and a lot of benefits to it, which is cool. But then the price point's also going to start going up. I think at a certain time, you cross a certain price point where Game Pass stops being as beneficial to a lot of people who view it as a cheaper entryway into gaming for their kids or all this other stuff. And one of the big benefits of Game Pass at that time sort of starts getting skewed.
I agree.
So either you do the tier system or you don't go that deep.
Yeah.
I think you're right, though. Tier systems suck, and they become really confusing, and it's kind of bad enough already.
Yeah. I do think that in some sort of fashion, Ubisoft Plus will play very nicely with Game Pass, whether it's a discount, whether it's being fully integrated or whatever. I think at some point it will happen. I do think that a lot of it relies on Rainbow Six Extraction and how that does.
Agree. Jinx.
You owe me a soda. Let's get into Fix the Stack, shall we? This one comes from top left. Remember, you can email in myxboxandmepodcast@gmail.com, or you can message us on the Discord, which is in the description below of this YouTube video, or you can tweet us with the hashtag MXAM. At MCFixer, at Crescent Place, at MadPVideo, at My Xbox and Me on Twitter. Top list says, do you think Rainbow Six Extraction being added to Xbox Game Pass day one is because there is not much excitement around it, and Ubisoft know they won't make much money from sales alone? Yes, no, maybe. No, I don't think so. I don't think that's the only reason, but I do think it's maybe one of the reasons the conversation started around it, which was how much can we get out of Xbox/Microsoft to put this in their premium service day one. I think, again, we're a numbers-driven... Everything we do is about numbers. They would have looked at pre-orders. They would have looked at social media excitement. They would have looked at reaction content. They would have looked at like all of what we do as content creators, and what you do, listener, as a consumer, would have played a part into the decision for this game being in Game Pass. I don't think it's the only decision, but I do think it's one of the decisions. And I think, like Matt's said, you're looking at January and it's bloated. How do you stand out from the pack? It's by being, quote unquote, not that I believe, but quote unquote, free.
Yeah.
To a lot of people, that's it. It's on Game Pass PC as well.
Yeah.
That's nuts to me.
Yeah, no, having it on both is actually, like, I agree. It's really crazy. And I think it's kind of them getting a head start on what they did with Siege. Is like, we're going to start doing this stuff a lot early. I wouldn't be surprised, like, the two 14-day trials for your friends. I think that's part of that plan as well.
Yep.
I wouldn't be surprised after the 14 days run, maybe a month or two later, they'll do a free to play weekend. I wouldn't be surprised if you start seeing these things roll out, because I would bet all my money that the way Rainbow Six Siege made most of its money was off of microtransactions, off of people buying operators and off of people buying skins for stuff as well.
Boosters. Yeah. Boosters were a big part of the game as well. Like, we can't turn a blind eye to Ronaldo boosters for a while. They were big money.
I have a question. Do you guys think that they'll end up charging you $4.99 to rescue a character without having to do a mission?
No, that's what Matt P was alluding to. No, I just don't. No. I don't think Ubisoft are dumb. They ain't that dumb. I don't think they will. I don't think. But yeah, no. What do you reckon, Matt? Is it just because of the excitement levels?
I think all these companies are very good at mitigating risk, and so somebody's crunched some numbers somewhere in a spreadsheet. Somebody a lot smarter than us that says these are pre-order numbers. This is the views on the latest trailer. This is This is how many we realistically think we're going to sell, and this is what we're going to get from Microsoft. And maybe those numbers look similar, and maybe they don't. But it's worth not risking anything and just taking a wedge from Microsoft for it. And and Microsoft just want games, right? And this is a big deal, and we're all talking about it being on Game Pass and how great that is, and that's all they want on Twitter. So, yeah, I think it makes sense for both sides, and if you're Ubisoft and you're thinking like, maybe it is going this way, maybe we do need to start more seriously considering making these games free to play and this, that, and the other. This is a good test bed for that, right? To kind of that halfway house before you go like full free to play with all of your stuff, which I don't think they'll ever necessarily do. But yeah, I think it makes sense for both sides. So why not?
I think the buddy system is the key thing here for people to remember, because it's hey, I'll use Mickey for instance. He's my best friend who doesn't really play games. Hey Mickey, come play this game with me because I need someone to play it with. Okay, cool. Oh, do you have Game Pass? No, he's not interested in Game Pass. Won't touch it. I've asked him to. He won't bother. But I tell you what he will do. He'll pay £40 for this damn game. And that's how they're going to mitigate the you, not me, you listener, watcher, you not paying £40 for it. But if you can convince one of your friends to pay £40 for it, we've done our job. Yeah, all we got to do is convince one of them, one of two, to like this game enough to pay £40, $40, whatever it is, for it. And that's the business model. That is it. It's you're literally the moment that someone invites their friend to come and play this game and their 14-day trial is run out, it's that moment of I'll just pay for it. Because they're not everyone does, as much as I do, not everyone does I'll just pay for Game Pass because it's cheaper. No, they don't want that. They want I'll just pay for it, no problem.
I don't know, and I'm sure there are people doing research on this sort of as we speak, but I bet as well there is some sort of psychology to, us saying, this is free in Game Pass, free in quotes, but then that psychology of saying, well, I haven't paid for Extraction, I'm going to get it wrong every time. I haven't paid for Extraction. I was never going to pay for Extraction, right? I will now play it on Game Pass. Yep. And if they release a skin that I like, and I haven't dumped any money into this game,
that's what they're
theoretically,
banking on.
Yeah.
I'm more likely to buy that skin because, hey, I actually like this game now and I haven't spent any money on it theoretically, and now I'm going to give you some microtransaction money. And maybe that's worth it to him as well. And that's just
devil's advocate.
I mean,
sorry, go on.
No, you can go.
I was going to say devil's advocate. Do we actually believe this game is going to be here by the end of the year?
No.
I do.
I think I do, but only because I've seen what the Rainbow Six community is about.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Only because of that. Not because of the casuals coming in. I
think people what the Rainbow Six community want. They want their hardcore
I think they want content.
MLG.
But this is that though. Like this is what I'm saying to you. From a Rainbow fan, me, like you cannot sit here and not like I hosted on the Rainbow Six Twitch channel in the UK. I've been to the studios through previews. Like I am a Rainbow Six guy. And yes, though this isn't PvP, we want content. We want something different. And we want to still be able to use these mechanics of what this amazing game is, I think.
I think you're kind of equating Rainbow to like Counter-Strike in the aspect of people want like this competitive and pro scene and all that stuff. And I don't think that's what Rainbow is, because a lot of people complain about, there's like a lot of hardcore Rainbow fans that kind of complain about what Rainbow Six Siege is.
It's become.
They love the tactical aspect. They love all that stuff about it. They just don't like it in Siege. And I do think this is an avenue for them to get those players in on their side, as well as some of the people who do play Rainbow Six Siege, and they're like, all they play is Rainbow Six Siege, but they want to break from the competitive nature. They don't want to play ranked, but they also don't want to play casuals. Casuals are trash, you know. So they have Extraction to play, right? And they still get to play their favorite characters. I do think one thing will be interesting, which for people who go from one game to the other, and they have skins in one game for their gun and for their character, then they go to this other game, and they're not going to be available. To me, it completely makes sense why they're not available. They're two separate games, right? I'm sure because there's also, you said there's characters have other abilities aside from what they're known for, right? That there's other animations involved, especially with character skins. That also means that those skins need to be animated differently, and the models that were there before might not work and whatnot. So I fully understand that. But I can see some of the more, I guess, casual players not understanding that and going to that and sort of 100%. Feeling like they're being scammed in some sort of way as well.
I'm sure they'll end up doing something like, oh, we can see from your Ubisoft account that you've put a ton of hours into Siege. Here's some goodies, right?
Nope.
They will.
No. Ubisoft does this with their Uplay function, where you can go on Uplay and you can redeem rewards. I think you'll get some stuff like that. I don't think it'll be anything super drastic. It'll be like a free gun skin and a charm or something like that. It won't be like, here's a load of loot because you put 1,000 hours into Rainbow Six Siege, and we value as a player, right?
Yeah.
They don't care about you.
Yeah. They'd be more likely. They'd be more likely to give you rewards if you spent like over $1,000 than if you put in over 1,000 hours.
Yeah, well, that's true. There was the Prince of Persia game. Which one was it?
Sands of Time.
No, it was the latest one. The latest.
Bro, everybody goes to Sands of Time for everything, you know. Prince of Persia. How many Prince of Persia games there are? There's so many, but everyone's like Sands of Time.
But yeah,
it was the most impactful one.
From their Uplay point system thing, I was able to play as Altair from Assassin's Creed.
Oh yes, I know the exact game you're talking about. Yes,
sick. I'm happy with this.
Yeah, it was very cool.
They should do shit like that more. They should have a Ubisoft universe. Why not have a fucking Assassin's Creed?
Yeah, they technically
Rainbow
do.
Six.
The metaverse is coming, fam.
Let's do it.
The metaverse isn't what you think it is, I think, Fix.
NFTs.
That's the only answer. What is the metaverse? NFTs.
After last week, we are becoming the NFT Xbox podcast.
My NFT and me. Next question. Mr. Mitch George says, seeing a multiplayer-focused shooter launching day one on Game Pass, is this what EA should have done with Battlefield at the end of last year?
No.
Crash?
I mean, it technically was because it was on EA Play, and if you had Game Pass, you had access to 10 hours of it.
Yeah.
I don't think it being on Game Pass would have changed the reception of the game and would have made more people stick with the game.
I was paid by EA to play Battlefield 2042. Just put that out there very quickly. No, it wouldn't have made a difference. This game, the game just wasn't. The game wasn't what we wanted Battlefield to be. At the end of again, it's so annoying because there's so many good elements in that game that are a lot of fun, but it was still just not what we wanted in the end. And it's a shame because it's something different. It's not a battle royale. It's not all of this, but even that being in Game Pass wouldn't have made a difference. Again, it still doesn't change the fact that the game wasn't what we wanted.
I agree.
Yeah.
I didn't play it, so I don't agree, actually. I don't. To be fair, I was excited for it. And I was like, oh, I got my 10 hours for EA Play.
Yeah.
I'm going to play it, whatever. And then people are talking about it, and they're like, it's a little bit underpolished. It's this and that. There's just always something. And even when they started putting out certain fixes and whatnot, there was still always something that was wrong with the game.
Yep.
Yeah, I was in a very similar boat. I wonder how many people who have Game Pass even know that they have 10 hours free in that game.
No, I don't think the EA Play aspect of Game Pass is advertised super well. And I wonder if that's by design.
Yeah.
What?
It is 100% by design. 100%. It's hey, this is here if you know about it, but if you don't, keep buying our game at $60. Like, don't. Why would we want you? That we have a service there for this 10 hours, but we don't want you to try this game. We want you to just buy it because I'd say probably 99 is probably too much, but I'd say 95% of people are not going to refund the game. They can't be bothered.
Yeah, that's fair.
That hasn't come over to consoles as well as it. Only when you get a Cyberpunk or something really when the game's broken do you hear console players talking about refunds.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure it's also harder to get a refund on console, if I'm not mistaken.
Not really. Xbox are pretty good about that sort of thing now, to be honest with you. But yeah, yeah. You know what it's like. Shout out to the Patreon producers this week, Aaron Guard and FNH Paul. Thank you for your support in 2021, and we hope that it continues in 2022. Boys, we do appreciate everything you do for this podcast. Thank you. Let's get into...
I just wanted to point out we did get 2 more questions on the Discord. I don't know if we want to do it for next week.
Next week is going to be fully Game of the Year, so if you've got them, let's do them.
Okay, so first, these are both from Origin Cookie Man. Shout out to Origin Cookie Man. I've been loving the variety of shorter, unique experiences the Game Pass has given me access to. Games like Slice of Fishing Life, Cooking Adventure, Moonglow Bay, Planet Puzzle Platformer The Gunk, and Coming of Age Mystery Adventure Sable have all nailed their story. Sense of location and atmosphere in a bite-sized package that can be beaten in under 10 to 20 hours. What have been your recent surprise Game Pass favorites? Is the first question.
Ooh.
Guess what I'm going to say.
The Artful
12
Escape.
minutes.
You're goddamn right. Go play it.
12 minutes. Yeah, I was right. I knew it.
No. Pass 12 minutes into a fire.
So the one that comes to mind for me is this is such a cheap answer because I haven't played it yet, but I watched somebody play it and was like, I cannot wait to play it. So I'm just gonna shout it out because I haven't had a chance to play it yet. It's that packing game, the moving out one.
No, it's just called Unpacked, isn't it? Or
Unpacked. Is that what it's
game's
called?
good. Yeah, Unpacking. Yeah, that game's
like,
good.
I watched Ianelius play it the other day, and I was like, oh my god, this is a me game. Like, so for people who don't know, when I get quite stressed out, I take apart my entire setup and wipe everything down and then put it all back up. But for some reason, it just de-stresses me in a weird way. But now that I saw this game, I was like, oh no, this is definitely going to scratch that itch. Turning cups around, making sure they're on the right shelf. Oh my god, yes. So I haven't had a chance to check it out yet. Again, my life has been very different. GTA roleplay, I'm sorry. I haven't had time for much else, but yeah, I cannot wait to actually try that out.
Yeah, that game's actually really, really good. I think you'll really like it. It is a puzzle game.
I'm playing it like tomorrow.
Yeah.
I was like, because I'm doing Game of the Year stuff for next week, but yeah.
My game's a game that I've played recently. Fate Tactics.
The Castlevania one you spoke about.
No, that's a different game. Not the Castlevania one. The Castlevania one's up there as well, and I would say that as well. But Fate Tactic actually is a game that I've been putting so much time into. It's think Final Fantasy Tactics. So less, not XCOM, but similar idea behind it. And I'll just be like, I have a little bit of free time. I'll go on, I'll do a mission, I'll go out, and you do the whole combat phase and whatever. The combat's really interesting. I would not have played that game if it wasn't on Game Pass. It was the biggest surprise for me on Game Pass. Second question.
Wait. What did Matt say? You got to give us another answer other than the Artful Escape.
Artful Escape, okay.
That's like Game of the Year, like Jesus.
Yeah, I Boyfriend Dungeon I as well very much enjoyed and would never have picked up if it wasn't on Game Pass. And then, again, that's like 4 or 5 hours. And then the other one I would put in here is Hades, which I know is like, everyone in the
That's a great one.
But
I wouldn't have played that. I would not have touched Hades if it wasn't for Game Pass. 1000%. Yeah, no chance. It's not a fix. It's not a me type game at all. But I played it and was like, oh, this is actually very good. I'm never gonna beat it. It's not gonna happen. But playing it, I was like, oh wow.
Also, an incredible game that's on Game. I think it's on Game Pass. It Takes Two is on Game Pass, right? And
it is now. Yeah,
you should play the hell out of that if you haven't, because it's bloody.
But does It Takes Two fit the requirements of that question? What have been your recent surprise Game Pass favorites?
Surprise. Okay, fine.
Yeah. In a follow-up to your discussion about Xbox lack of family titles, I'd love some kind of compilation of family TV shows, TV show game adaptations, example Family Fortune, Family Feud, Catchphrase, etc.
Yes.
Even a quiz-based general knowledge game that repacks the daily quizzes Microsoft used to increase engagement with their Bing search engine could be an easy win here.
Absolutely. That's a great point. Sorry.
It's okay. Do you think leveraging existing TV properties could be the route to success?
Yes.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's weird because America's got we only just got not only just, but what's the one I bought the other day that I played? Family Fortune. And is it good? No, it's not. But it's good enough for the conversation we were having. Like, is Who Wants to Be a Millionaire a good game? No. It's not a good game. But for what I need it for at Christmas or a birthday or family around for a couple of bottles of wine, why am I pretending my family like me like that? But for that reason, I'm trying to put myself in Matt in family, wondering if that's what they do. They definitely do. 100%. Would you like to come around for a bottle of wine? And he's like, says something in Welsh, and it's like, yeah, it's over. Yes, 100%. And Matt gone.
No, I know the Bing thing is a really good point because they do like 17 different quizzes you can do on Bing for like.
I hate you so much.
What's up?
I hate you so much. You said something, but just keep going. Just keep going.
What did you say?
Yeah.
Just go, Matt. Just leave it. Just leave it. Just leave it.
Yeah, it's not about Bing. Yeah.
So yes, so they already are doing that. So why not have like a daily quiz thing? So distracting, the two of you. If you're not watching the YouTube version, then I'm sorry, listeners. Why not package that in? 100%. I think one of the huge wins would be to allow like mobile controlling, like mobile phone controlling, like the Play Link on PlayStation, because then it just reduces that barrier to entry again for those party sort of games, to allow you to control all for the phone. So if they're doing it, they should do it that way. But what I was going to say, sorry, is the TV, looping in the TV shows that already exist costs money. And more often than not, you're better off just ripping those shows off.
Yeah, I agree.
And so that's probably more likely. Although if anybody's going to buy the rights, why not Microsoft, right? So do it.
Well, I don't think you even need to necessarily buy the rights. I'm sure, like, the thing is, I don't know if any of those technically have quote unquote games, like these not good website versions of the games that nobody plays, right? Yeah. So I don't know what the go about for that would be.
Who Wants a Millionaire's there? That was done by UB, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Monopoly's obviously got one already. Yeah. That's UB.
I think the one downside of like the golden age of like all IPs getting games and most of them being bad is that we lost these type of games that I think they're bad games, but similar to like an MMO where it's like you don't want to make the best game to make an MMO good, right? You just want to make a game that's fun for that genre. It's very similar to this. Like you don't need the best game to make a Family Feud fun. You just need a Family Feud game, right? Yeah. So I think that would be cool.
You know what game I want, and it would probably be dirt cheap to buy the rights, if even possible to buy the rights. Fix. You might not even know this one, but Bullseye.
Oh, no,
Bullseye
I know Bullseye.
What? Greatest.
Why would I not know Bullseye? Chris won't know what Bullseye is.
No, I know Chris won't know, but
bro, it's like, it was time we... Yeah.
It was a quiz show mixed with darts. Yeah. And then at the end, the final game was basically impossible. Nobody ever won the grand prize, but then they would wheel the grand prize out, and it was always a speedboat. Even though this guy lived fucking 4 hours away from the nearest coastline.
Maybe he lost it on purpose. Like, I don't want the speedboat.
I always wonder why we never got like a Takeshi's Castle game. I know we got Fall Guys now, but it was always strange to me that someone didn't make that.
Yeah. I think
that's just a video game. Like that, I know we've got Fall Guys now, but like, it's weird that it took that long to come.
I mean, look at Squid Games. Like, how is there not a Squid Games game? Oh,
but
wait, because some 12-year-old made it in Roblox. Like, do you know what I mean? So
there's actually like a lot of... You're talking about like an official Squid Games game, right? Yeah. No. Yeah, it's one of those weird things where it's like, I think it's far enough removed from gaming that like both sides have to find somebody who's willing to actually like work on it, because you can't have just Microsoft going to them and be like, we'll make this game for you and we'll do everything. They need somebody or multiple people on their side that are interacting with Xbox and making sure like everything's up to par with what their vision is. And a lot of times I feel like with maybe a game like this, but with a lot of IPs, is that there is some sort of friction, some sort of disagreement on where the game should go. And then for one side, it's like, this isn't worth the investment at that point.
Where is Plumble Party on Xbox?
Yeah, that's just such a weird, like, that should be on every platform at this point. I don't even care about just like Xbox. That should be on PlayStation, on the Switch as well. It should be on everything. Why it isn't there? I don't know.
I don't understand why Microsoft and PlayStation haven't ripped off Mario Party.
Yeah,
it doesn't make sense to me.
For PlayStation, I know PlayStation had multiple games where they tried making Mario-esque games. Like they had they had 2 attempts at a kart racer. They had the Little Big Planet kart racer and the other one. So PlayStation, no. I'm just saying PlayStation might be like, we attempted doing this and it's just not working for us.
That's not true, man. Like
PlayStation they tried to make a Smash Bros. They tried to do kart races. They try.
But they do it all half-hearted and shitty.
100%.
PlayStation All-Stars was good.
I played it on VR.
That's why it was shitty. Worst console to play a game on.
Yeah, and we keep saying it, but if anybody can do it, Microsoft can do it. And like, I mean, look at the what was that quiz game when quarantine all started? There was a mobile quiz game.
Yeah,
that was,
the
like,
mobile. I
huge.
know it's.
Quiz
I don't
HD
remember
or
what it
Quiz
is. Yeah.
HQ or something. There was like a live quiz show that you would tune into at 6 p.m. and you would play and you could win £100 or whatever it was. It's like fucking brilliant. Do something like that, Microsoft. Come on,
We're
1v100, but do it.
Don't.
Oh,
I know.
You know what would be interesting if they do something like 1v100 or like a quiz game or whatever, and they do have like a special one that's like at 6 p.m. every day. There'll be one, and it gives some sort of reward away, and those rewards aren't. It's like you'll get Microsoft credit, or and sometimes it's like you'll get Game Pass, or it could even be like, hey, you'll get some currency in Halo to encourage people to go and play Halo and use that currency there. It's like, oh, invest in that, or Gears of War, or so on and so forth. I think there's a lot of interesting stuff they could do there.
Yeah,
I'm
100%.
not being funny, but like the amount of Forza fucking carb, like whatever, like just the first party games. Forget everything else. Just go first party. Yeah, a Sea of Thieves skin, Gears of War credit. What? Like, it's so easy to give out these other crappy prizes, and then when we need like a second prize that's pretty good, like, I don't know, a Microsoft headset. If you can give it out to fucking influencers like me, we could give one away a month for a 1 versus 100. Like, do you know what I mean? They've never given me a headset, by the way. I bought my headset, just so people are aware. They never gave me that. Okay. So, yeah. But yeah, it does. It really does. If you can do a Twitter giveaway for it, you can do it and I'm sure the problem with this is legal, because I'm sure it will come under gambling or something like that. That'll be the answer. We can't do that because it's gambling.
It's also, how do you, like, a lot of giveaways have age restrictions, and how do you sort of keep that up and make sure everything's on the up and up? Because a lot of times kids aren't truthful on it. Let's be honest. Like, it is their problem. But
that's the kids' problem, not Microsoft. If you lie, that's on you.
No, I don't disagree, but I'm sure that for like Microsoft's legal team, they look at them, they're like, that's a headache. That's something we will have to deal at some point.
Why did my kids win this pair of anime titty mouse mat? What the hell?
Yeah, what happened?
But then I bet you get away from that by making the entire thing digital currency and just saying, okay, well, the prize is a Game Pass, Halo points or whatever. They're like stuff that's just transferred straight to your account.
I don't think that it circumvents a lot of those requirements. I could be wrong. Rahul would be a perfect person to ask this.
God, we need Rahul.
If he knows, yeah.
For those who don't know who Rahul is, he's a friend of ours who's a video game lawyer, pretty much.
Because I don't know if like just making everything all digital necessarily circumvents all laws. And then you also have to think about it, like laws in the UK are different from laws in America, are different from laws everywhere else. So there's a lot of other stuff as well.
That's definitely one.
Sure.
Okay, fair enough. What you guys been playing this week? What's been in your box?
I can go because it's very boring if you want. I've just been playing more Guardians of the Galaxy. But
did you beat it? Because I saw a picture.
No, I haven't beaten it. But see, the issue is the picture, because I've avoided photo mode until I started playing it this week again, and now I'm in the photo mode, and now I can't make any fucking progress because all I'm doing is taking photos.
Maybe stop taking.
You know
photos.
what?
I know.
I'm happy about this year. I'm not the only one that doesn't finish games.
Yeah, no, I think.
Oh, there's no way I finished Guardians.
Crash, you're not even ready, fam. Like, I mean, I swear, okay, we pushed my Game of the Year talk back a week, right? Like, because it's meant to be this week, meant to be today. And I was like, we're taking off a week because I'm going to need the I haven't played a single game. I haven't played a single game this week other than the thing that I'm not allowed to talk about on this podcast anymore.
So does that mean next week you're taking off of streaming and just playing games?
If I could, I would. No, what it means is next week or this week, I'm just playing games.
All the time, 24/7.
I have to literally, it's like finish work, start playing games.
Yeah.
And that's a horrible feeling.
Yeah.
Boo-hoo you play video games for a living. I know, I'm sorry, but streaming one game for 8 hours a day, then to sit back in the same throne and go, now I need to beat Halo, which is I've still got another 10 hours to go. I don't know what to do. I don't know.
It also starts souring that experience where it's like, I need to play this. Because I remember back when we did both Far Cry and Biomutant as well. There was sort of that feel. You have to like rationalize it and like separate that feeling from the game. Yeah, no.
At least for Game of the Year, we're saying like you haven't got to complete it to put it in your list and stuff.
Yeah.
Like you can get a reasonable amount of the way through a game and know if it's going to make your top 10 or not. And if it's not, you can drop it, right? Like I'm looking at Cookie Man's question again now and thinking, yeah, like all of those games I haven't played and I've heard great things about and I need to play basically this week to decide whether or not they're going on the list next week. Like Moonglow Bay, I was super excited for. And definitely want to get some time in before next week because I can imagine it hitting my list. And the Gunk.
Don't be alarmed, everyone. I can't hear a single thing. My headphones died, and I assume Matt P stopped speaking. I'm going to put these in.
He kept going.
And we're okay. Just give me a second while I switch over device.
We didn't have much dead air
up over our faces.
We didn't have any dead air actually until they started cutting us.
I can hear you. Oh, was you still talking?
Yeah, we were still talking, and then you just started cutting Matt off.
It's fine.
He's mad. Stop moving. I'm so sorry.
I was breathing. No, you're fine. I was done anyway. All I was saying is there's so much stuff that I still need to play, and I will endeavor to do this week.
Oh, okay.
Forgotten City as well. That's on there.
Is that the one that we all promised we'd play?
Which one? For yeah. Well, I promised I would play it. I don't think anybody else made the promise that they would play it.
I feel like we'll lose a listener if we don't play it.
Yeah, we gotta do it.
Is it on Game Pass, right?
Yes, it is on Game Pass. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I mean, you just have to try it enough to see if it's something that like floats your boat.
Do you know what I think? That's what you touched on, and that's where my mind went to before my headset died. I think the problem is I've become one of those gamers that I've hated my entire life, which is the one game gamer. Like, I get my feel now. Like, I know how amazing Halo is. I know, and I enjoyed it, and I loved what I've played of it so far. But I promise you, I really, really, really enjoyed it. I didn't lie when I said I enjoyed it. I am just not compelled to beat it in any way, shape, or form, even though I know it's amazing. Even though I know it's a great experience. Because I was, honestly, I would rather go back and play GTA RP and sell drugs on the corner for 5 hours instead.
I know that feeling, Fix.
Smite for you, right? Or League of Legends or anything else.
It rotates, but it is like, yeah, it's like that's the only game I can think of. And I'll play other games and like, this game's really cool. It does this, this, and this. But it's not whatever that other game I'm playing is right now that I really want to go sink time into.
I think the interesting thing with GTA RP, and I'm feeling it with Halo, is the social aspect. It's like, do I want to go play these games? Which, I will have fun doing. But actually, I just want to hang out with my mates. And for me at the moment, that's Halo. We've jumped in every night this week. And I've put like 2 hours, 3 hours into Guardians of the Galaxy. And 2 hours of that's been in photo mode. And so I'm not making much progress.
I think the stress I have with games, and that's the thing I'm trying to learn this year, and I'll talk about it on another podcast that I'm hopefully doing, which is of me doing... I don't like sitting down and just playing an hour of something, but I think I need to find that space again of, okay, Haley's reading the book, I'm going to play an hour or two of, and if I get lost in the experience, perfect. But I put so much pressure on this. Literally, I've especially with all the games I've got to beat, right? It's like, in Crash Tell you see my list. I'll write a list out, and then I write down like how long to beat. Okay, this is going to take me 10 hours, and then I get overwhelmed with the fact of like, I've only played this game for an hour. It's got 10 hours left. Oh my god! Like, I know I've got another 9 hours to go, and I'm like, where am I going to find those 9 hours? And it's like, And I think that's the weird part of the job part of this, where it's like, if I could just sit down, you finish your day at work, and just play, it would be different, you know?
Yeah.
It was always the thing that scared... Sorry to cut you up. It was always the thing that scared me about the difference between being a podcaster / reviewer / internet personality and being a streamer.
Right.
They're so different, but so the same. And people look at you as if you should have been able to have played everything, where you're like, but I can't. That's not how this job works, but this job's very different. So I'm balancing the two, and I'm trying my hardest, I swear.
I think when you start making your lists, you might need to stop writing down the times.
I agree.
If the times are like giving you problems, it's like you'll get as far as you get, and you'll know how you feel about it at a certain point, and whether you should finish it or not.
I put it on myself.
But I understand it's different. It's different for you because you're so used to
Yeah, I put I've always prided myself, especially since I've entered the industry. I've in a way, and I don't mean it in a rude way, but I've always looked down upon I'm reviewing this game, but I never beat it. I've always been like, how can you have a how dare you tell me your opinion on said video game if you've never beaten it? You know? And now I'm the guy doing that, but I do it for a preview. I get to play like the opening 4 hours or something. Phenomenal. Beyond that, I don't know.
Yeah.
Weird.
I think it's interesting, because like, when we talked about when we were doing the Far Cry review of like, the purpose of a review is we're trying to give you an idea of whether or not you'll like this game, whether or not you'll be happy to spend the money on this game.
Yeah.
And ultimately, I don't think you need to finish a game to do that.
No, I agree with you.
Because hopefully at this point, people know us. They know what we like.
Well, yeah.
And I get that. I do get that.
It's because I think it's that weird thing because I'm like, we'll talk. Next week's the perfect time to talk about this. Next week is like, we'll be breaking down games into different aspects and figuring out our top 10 list. And remember, you can email in myxboxandmepodcast@gmail.com to send in your videos. We got one.
Love it.
And I appreciate that one more than anything that you know. But we only got the one. So remember, 30-second clip, hello, message, my game of the year is, boom. Feel free to send them in. We'd love to see your faces. I'll be honest with you. It was very nice putting a face to a name on this one. Yep. And I was like, this is what you look like.
To see it.
Yeah, well, you better watch it beforehand then, because it ain't going to go in the edit, is it?
I was going to say, how are we going to do that? Okay, so we're not going to watch
I've got to edit it in, Matt.
We should watch them beforehand so we know what video it is.
We're not meant to tell people this. God damn it, the magic's gone. Are we doing news this week? You want to do news? News?
We can do news.
Have we got news?
We've got a couple bits. Let's jump into this week's dashboard. Halo Infinite's lead narrative designer leaves 343 to join Riot. This one was taken from IGN and says this. There's an update on it, so here we go. A tweet went out from, okay, I'm trying to get this name. Do we know who it is? Because I'm trying to find the quote.
Aaron Lind.
I thought that's who it might have been. Thank you. In what might be one of the most amusing I got a new job post ever, Halo lead narrative designer, Aaron Lindell? What'd you say?
I said Lind, but I don't know if that's the way it's pronounced.
We'll see. Has announced that he's leaving 343 and joining Riot Games. Lind announced that the news via Twitter in a tongue-in-cheek video, writing on the quote, on the next episode, end quote. I didn't see the video myself, but is it good? Should we watch it? Do I need to see it, Gresh?
I didn't watch it, so I don't know.
You do the news, fam. I just assume you do.
I saw the tweet. I saw the article.
I respect it. Okay, so lead designer is left. Are we scared?
No. I mean, Halo Infinite's done. I'm sure that they're also reorganizing after the somewhat problems they had during development and whatnot. So I'm pretty sure that if he wanted to leave, he was probably like, I finished Halo Infinite. This is probably the best time for me to leave instead of staying here for another year or two and leaving in the middle of production or whatever it is. So I don't think this is honestly a problem at all for the game.
Okay.
I agree. I'm not super worried about it. There was another Halo story that's not in our list that might be worth quickly chatting about here. Did you guys hear about the missing mid-credit sequence that got discovered in the back end of Halo?
No. I did, but that's spoilers.
Fair enough. Moving on.
We should talk about it. I haven't watched it because it was something they didn't want us to see. To be fair, I haven't had the opportunity to watch it, but that is spoilers, and Fix hasn't finished it. I'm sure there's other people that haven't finished it.
I know people who haven't even started it because of the multiplayer. Who are just like, the multiplayer's too good, I can't put this down.
I get that.
Wild. Playground Games co-founder Trevor Williams is set to replace Gavin Ryburn as studio head. This one was taken from Windows Central. And in there, what you need to know. Gavin, have I said that right? Ryburn? is
Let's
a
go there.
prolific games developer involved in franchises like Dirt, Grid, and Forza Horizon. He co-founded Playground Games with Trevor Williams back in 2009, which Microsoft later acquired for Forza Horizon. Announced today, Gavin is leaving Playground, replaced by Trevor as the studio head. So everything you need to know. Gavin had been there 12 years and working on Forza Horizon games. And I'm sure we'll leave a big hole in that studio. It's always a hard one when it comes to... I've been doing this long enough now. It's always a struggle to talk about when people leave, because I don't quite know what people do at video game studios anymore.
Yeah.
Like, a lead producer can be quite hands-on and could be quite hands-off. A director could be quite hands-on and could be quite hands-off. I remember back in the day when we would talk about people leaving and we'd be like, oh, and I'll be like, I don't know what this means. And I still sit here before you. If I don't know the name, I don't know what it means. It's not not in a mean way. And I'm sure in the driving world, this is a big deal. But I know what Phil Spencer does for Xbox, right? I know what Amy Hennig done for her studios. I know the hands-on approach of that. You know, I know what a Neil Druckmann does. I don't know what other people do, so I struggle to talk on them. So never take if I ever come across like I'm being a bit dismissive. It's never that. I just don't always understand. You know?
Yep.
I think that's fair. It'd be interesting to see where Gavin goes next, because that's not been announced, or has it? No.
Maybe he gets higher games. 12 years in video games is a long old time. Let me
Might be
tell
done.
you.
Might be done.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Could be.
Good luck.
Next up, a name that I do recognize, BioShock creator Kevin Levine's next game is reportedly in development hell. This one's been taken from IGN, but if I'm not mistaken, it's Bloomberg that have officially reported on this one first of all. And yeah, it's apparently in development hell. The game has seen multiple reboots and changes in direction. Levine's current project, A Ghost Story, which has yet to be officially revealed or announced or given a firm release date, has taken a much longer than previously worked on, including the year and a half it took to develop System Shock. Is this game ever coming out? Because we've been waiting. I remember when they were like, I believe it was Kevin Levine,
It's
who
Ken
said
Levine.
like Ken, sorry. Thank you. That, oh yeah, we're not doing BioShock anymore. I remember that was like a big story, if I'm not mistaken. And then we sort of just been twiddling our thumbs waiting, right? And now it sounds like we'll be twiddling our thumbs waiting a lot longer still.
Yeah. So I don't know if you read the story, like the whole story, but he is apparently a bit of a perfectionist. And so what's been happening is like they'll do weeks or months of work and then he'll like experience something new or he'll play something new or whatever the case is, and then he'll be like, back to the drawing board with this portion, let's throw this out and whatnot. He is very much a perfectionist at what he does, and I think like half the studio that was originally there left, or the original team left, or something along those lines. So it is kind of, it's troubling, but Ken Levine, I think almost every franchise he's worked in has gotten critical acclaim, if not like mainstream success with BioShock and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I trust the product we get in the end will be good. I just, when that happens, when that comes out, who knows? It kind of sucks for the people who may have done like months of work just to have it thrown out afterwards. But
I couldn't imagine working on games, man. I struggle when a podcast fails. Could you imagine dedicating like and lost time with family or birthdays or whatever it is to just be like, I no longer like that.
Yeah.
See you later.
To be fair, there was a bit of
Not
the story that did. No. There was a bit of the story that did talk about like the schedule is much more lax, so they haven't had to really worry about crunch and stuff like that. So I do want to point that out as well. That was a part of the story. So that is a good thing about it. It is a smaller team. It's not as big of a team. But yeah, this story is interesting, and I think for anybody who's interested in what Ken Levine does, it is worth reading. It's not going to be BioShock. What it'll be, I assume, from System Shock to BioShock, I assume it'll be somewhat of a similar vein of game. I don't think he's going to go super Ghost Shock. Yes, that's what it'll be called. It'll be about ghosts. I'm interested to see what it is. Saddening to hear that it is going through all this trouble, though.
Yes. Yes, indeed. Next up, Konami will start selling NFTs in celebration of Castlevania's 35th anniversary.
You got something to say about this fix?
It's the first one that I'm like, okay, I'll buy.
So, have you read like some of the info that they've given about it? So I just want to give you a bit of one of they have like Q&A bits, and one of the Q&A bits is will Konami ever resell this? And Konami says, no, the digital information on this specific one is exclusive, but they can release ones that are similar and come from the same exact game. So what they can basically do is whatever NFT you end up buying, they can adjust it, move the character just a pixel over, take the same thing, and sell it again.
Okay.
So if you're going to buy it, just go into it knowing that there could be a million other versions of that with just 1 pixel difference somewhere being sold.
We spoke about NFTs last week.
Yeah.
And why did I say I was buying NFTs? If I was
to sell
if
it.
I ever bought one, why would I do it?
I understand to sell it. But would you buy it to sell it right away? Or would you buy it to hold on to
Crash. I will be the guy that buys it, sells it a week later, and then finds out it went to 1 million and cry and maybe do something stupid, Like, that's how scary I am.
All made money is good money. Don't take your profits.
If you made $50, but you could have made $1 million,
I wouldn't say it for 50.
You still got $50.
Like generally, I'm not. Look, NFTs are a space that I don't understand. I don't get it yet. I don't understand it. It's not been explained to me properly yet. But what I do understand is video gamers, and what I do understand is I have a bad feeling this is going to be worth money.
Well, to balance you out, I got a feeling this is going to be worth nothing.
See, you're nuts.
I think the one big thing that this has going against it is the fact that it's Konami.
No, I disagree.
At this point,
I think this game is. Look, I don't care about Castlevania, as you all know, but if I can get one of these, I think someone's going to be out there like, I need this, and I'm going to be the guy to say, here you go, for a premium.
So they're going to say, my whole thing is they're going to say they need this, and then Konami's going to announce, we're going to put out more Castlevania NFTs.
By that time, I won't have it.
Okay. That's fair. I just want you to fully think through it before you get it. I'm not trying to persuade you either way.
All the information I have is through TikTok, as you know, where I get all of my information on NFTs. And some guy on TikTok, who I don't follow, who I've not done a background check on, told me this would be worth money.
Fix. How many times have you been on TikTok and you've seen people give like streamer tips and content creator tips? And how many times are those tips absolute bullshit?
Fuck.
It's all the time. We've talked about this. It's all the time. They talk out their ass and say some fancy words, and they talk about an industry they don't fully understand. They got their foot in the door, and they saw somebody else talk about it. They're like, that's an educated person.
Crash, it gets even worse though, bro. Because have you seen what I started doing with it?
No.
I started duetting them. And it's me going through their profile and going, fam, you averaged 2 views. Why are you telling people how to get views? I did see that.
You can't do this, Fix. You're not allowed to do this.
Am I not?
No, you can't get an NFT off that, right? You can seriously do information and get an NFT. If you get an NFT based off of a TikTok of somebody you don't know anything about, I would be thoroughly disappointed in you.
I live to disappoint you, though, Crash.
That's true. You can feel free to disappoint me.
How much is it? Do we know?
Well, so
you have to bid
they're
on
doing it. They're doing auction, blind auction. This is not the one, Fix. I'll be honest.
Yeah,
this is not the one, no?
This is not the one. I mean, look,
guys,
this is not financial advice, and I'm no NFT expert. But
do you know what's scary?
What?
Imagine when the Resident Evil one comes, and you know it's coming.
But that's different because you're not necessarily
Why
just buying that to hope to make money.
I don't even want. Yes, I am. Don't quit. Don't. I told you guys, didn't I? Why I'm buying these, which is the truth. What did I tell you guys? What did I tell you? No, I won't.
No,
I won't.
There will. So for Fix with the Resident Evil ones, there will be an attachment because he's like, I know how dope Resident Evil is. People are going to be going crazy for these because it's Leon and Chris Redfield in the same picture and it's the only one available. And Fix is going to have an internal value of like, this is easily like $300K, no doubt. And I'm getting 100%. It for the cheap end right here. And
I'm next thing you know, $30.
Yeah.
Look. So there are a few reasons that I don't think this is the one.
Okay. Talk to me, Matt P.
One, I can't figure out whether or not these NFTs are one of one. So they are individual, or whether or not they are selling multiple versions of the same NFT.
They say it's individual.
Okay,
but they word the response to that very loosely, so they can essentially replicate this without 100% replicating.
And then that's what worries me. So they are selling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 16, 18 NFTs. That's all they're selling is 18 NFTs.
Yeah. The Castlevania watch one's already at $100.
The Castlevania watch one is already at $100. Where are you seeing that?
Watch versus I'm not promoting these people. They don't pay me.
Because all I'm seeing is options for blind auctions, so you don't know how much people have bid.
Maybe
this is this guy that's bidded then. I don't know. Maybe 3 hours ago he put an offer in for, I don't know what this currency is. WETH, W-E-T-H. See, this space is so
that's
confusing.
Probably some sort of like Bitcoin or whatever.
This space is if you're still listening, this space don't make no fucking sense.
It's an Ethereum thing, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't think this is the one Fix. It's not going to be the one that makes you $1 million. I don't think.
Okay.
And if I'm wrong,
Matt will give you $1 million.
You can kick me off the podcast, and
Matt will give you $1 million.
Is this not? But I told you guys why I'm getting in, man.
But they're quite late to this already. Like
NFTs,
they're not on the way down. But
if a Pokemon NFT ever comes out, Fix, then you can just jump into it and don't worry about it. At some point, it'll be worth a crazy amount of money. A Castlevania NFT could either be like really, really prized, or it could be worth like lower than whatever you bought it in by a significant amount.
Don't say it like that, Crash.
That's what it's going to be.
The kid on TikTok told me it would be worth millions.
Well, look, there is a barrier of entry in that you have to get yourself a MetaMask and buy some Ethereum. And maybe in that process of doing the research on how to do that, you'll figure out that this is not the one.
Do you need to use Ethereum for that?
Boy. You don't think I've already got this? Look. I've already got the app. Oh.
That's not the right app.
What?
That's crypto, all right?
Yeah. App? I know what I need.
No. You need,
what do I need?
To set yourself, you need to set yourself up a MetaMask. You need to transfer your Ethereum.
What's a MetaMask?
Exactly.
What about this? I got this one as well. Coinbase. What's that?
Yeah, it's same as crypto.com. You're not going to be able to purchase the NFTs through that.
But I've got this one here called VV.
Anyway, thank God for you.
Also,
because at this point,
I just want to point out, people are allowed to make offers on these right now, and not all of them have offers.
Well, that's what I was looking
at. I could get in, fam. I could get in right now.
That's not a good sign.
Some of the pages have less than 200 views.
You guys are not thinking. Look, that's because we are so on the. You're not thinking about. We are on the cusp of something special here. All right, guys. I need $100 from both of you.
No.
Damn, you guys don't believe.
If I wanted to throw away my money,
out of the Christmas bonus pot.
Yeah, take it out of the Christmas bonus. That's a good call.
All right, well, fine.
If this was Resident Evil, I would be less concerned about you thinking about buying one.
Worst case with Resident Evil is you can't make your money back, but you keep it and you have a cool Resident Evil NFT.
Exactly. Exactly.
That sounds awful. That sounds awful to me, and I'm a Resident Evil fan.
But with this, worst case is you try and sell it and nobody wants to buy it, and you get stuck with this memory of the money you wasted.
Me again? Oh, hi. Yeah, I'm back. You may have noticed that the podcast ended quite abruptly. I apologize for that. We couldn't do plug and all the other stuff, and we didn't really get to finish our conversation on NFTs. But there was still an episode this week. I do apologize, obviously, for the abruptness of how it ends. The computer froze, as I said at the start of the show. If you're weird and you skipped that part and you only just got to this part, I don't know what you're doing. You're weird. But yeah, anyway, thank you for watching this week's episode of My Xbox and Me. Make sure you hit the comments, hit the subscribe buttons, and do all the fancy stuff that the kids do on this channel. And we appreciate you. Until next time, we will love you, leave you, and see you all later. Goodbye.